Welcome back. You're watching Citizen Live at 1. We now move to South Sudan, where Willis Raburu was in Bor in Jonglei State, which has pretty much been destroyed. People are beginning to move back in, and yesterday President Yoweri Museveni was there, and there are talks of him withdrawing his troops. Willis Raburu now joins us live on the phone. And Willis, tell us a little bit more about the situation on the ground right now.
Oh, thank you very much, Janet. As you said, we were in Bor yesterday, and town is slowly coming back to that town. But then, of course, there's, if you talk in terms of the destruction, most of the town has been completely destroyed. The town center has been completely destroyed. What we saw was some mass graves, even some Kenyan investments, we're talking about banks, utterly destroyed and looted as well. But so far, the people are trying to encourage some of the civilians to go back home, to go back to manning some of their workstations as well, and so that is happening. They are trickling in, not a sufficient number, because the call is from the general that we spoke to that we have control of this place, so they are really waiting for the people to come back, because now what is happening, Janet, is that the military is the one actually running most of the affairs of the town, the shops, and even the hospital is being run by the ministry. So that is as far as that is concerned. And also, Janet, as you quite rightly put it there, the president, that is Yoweri Museveni, also was here yesterday. But before we go to that, just an update basically on the town of Malakal. Of course, it was a heavy attack, and the rebels were claiming that they got about 70% of it. And if you recall, we were still waiting for government reaction. We did get the government reaction. The rebel forces, the SPLA.
All right.
Saying that the SPLA actually repulsed the rebel forces yesterday when they attempted to advance towards the airport and other areas under the control of the government too. So that is as far as Malakal town is concerned, Janet.
All right, Willis. Many thanks, Willis Raburu, joining us there from South Sudan. Let's now move on to other stories that we're following for you here on Live at 1. The government, through State House digital team, has launched a Twitter handle, #GOKInteracts, that's #GOKInteracts, to engage the public matters of governance. Speaking at the Ministry of Labour, the Cabinet Secretary for Labour, Kazungu Kambi, said the initiative will help the public access government policies and programs online. The program will also enable Kenyans, both locally and abroad, to interact with government officials.
I think as a government, our policy is one, to create jobs. And basically, if you look at our mandate, and again, we have created the Uwezo Fund for the youth. We have women funds. So basically, we want to reduce poverty.
Police in Uasin Gishu County have nabbed a vehicle destined for Uganda ferrying ivory worth 15 million shillings. Two people who were transporting the consignment from Nairobi to Uganda were arrested at Mailitisa and are being held at Eldoret Police Station to be arraigned in court. Eldoret West OCPD said the consignment included 32 pieces of ivory.
We are counting in terms of it's a generation. We are told that elephants move as a family, and the 16 of them must have been a family.
Let's now take a look at your business news, where county governors have moved to harness the capacity of the country's institutions of higher learning to help them address food security challenges. Lamu County has partnered with the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in a deal that is expected to improve the county's agricultural potential and food security. Under the Memorandum of Understanding, the two parties will jointly tap water from the Tana River to aid in the irrigation project with the aim of turning around the agricultural arable land in its mainland. The county is seeking to boost food security by integrating various food and cash crops, livestock, fresh produce, among others. Now, Konza was a dream to many. Just ask any of those that bought land close to the highly talked about city. But what is the current status of the hub? Years after the ground was broken, not a single building has been erected. What happens to the promise of job creation and the growth of the much-hyped ICT hub of East and Southern Africa? Dennis Otieno reports.
Konza City Park, where Africa's Silicon Savannah begins. Words that stirred a lot of excitement across the country when the government first launched Konza City. The images are just as glamorous, with the high-rise buildings and world-class architecture. The reality on the ground is this: just an expansive savanna that holds the dreams for many, especially the local folk and those that manage to grab a piece of land around the Malili Ranch ahead of the technopolis. The 1.2 trillion shilling 5,000-acre project has been dogged by wrangles regarding its boundaries, as local leaders fault the current government for deliberately delaying the works.
This Konza City will not go anywhere until the president of this country gets involved.
Recently, reports emerged about a document that shows a plan to carve out the technopolis from Makueni and lump it into Machakos County, an issue the ICT ministry flatly denies. What seems to be even more worrying for locals is the recent groundbreaking of a techno city in nearby Machakos, which was launched by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Question is, will two techno cities within a radius of 30 kilometers be really viable?
Cities are planned for all over Kenya. It is not just Konza. This is the first.
While an acre was sold for around 175,000 shillings 3 years ago, today the same piece of land, according to land agents, goes for 2.4 million shillings per acre. However, the challenge is, for how long will landowners here wait for the construction of the techno city, and will the value of land continue to appreciate? Dennis Otieno, Citizen Business.
To our Forex report now, where the Kenya shilling continued its rally against the US dollar during mid-morning trade today, aided by commercial banks selling dollars to meet their tax obligations. The central bank was quoting the shilling at an indicative rate of 86 shillings and 8 cents buying and 86 shillings and 27 cents selling. Let's cross over to the European front, where the shilling replicated its strengthening streak against both the sterling pound and the euro to trade at 143 shillings and 50 cents and 118 shillings and 36 cents respectively. The local unit also gained against her East African counterparts to change hands at 28 shillings and 42 cents to the Ugandan shilling and 18 shillings and 76 cents to the Tanzanian shilling. Informal markets and smallholder farmers had the spotlight yesterday following the launch of the first regional agri-market access conference. The two-day conference brings together local, regional and international private, public and developmental sector players under the banner Unmasking the Engine of African Trade. Now, research by Farms Concern International indicates that informal markets drive trade worth billions of dollars across Africa. It further notes that 60 to 90% of food trade in Africa is facilitated by these same markets.
The countries that are stable, that are growing, that are thriving in the world have hinged their bet on trade. However, Africa is a smallholder continent. Are they trading? Are they trading right? That's our core today. Our Kralian core of winning markets for Africa is based on the view that indeed, if Africans were trading and there was opportunity to market and competitively participate in the various value chains, our continent will move forward.
We learned today, do your domestic market first, then grow to the next one. Uchumi used to import onions through its intermediaries from southern Sudan and from Arusha. Today they don't have to because it's available locally. We used to get watermelons from southern Sudan. We have them around. So what actually is happening today is, I would say it's testimony rather than coming to tell you what has to be done. It is already being done.
Farm concern, I would say they have helped create employment. And you have heard what Dr. Siano have said. The smallholder farmers are able to put money in their pockets from the village. What more can we do for our people in Kenya and in Africa?
And Mike Okinyi now joins us for all the latest in the world of sports. What do you have for us, Mike?
A lot of athletics.
Okay.
If you'd gone to a hotel and you come to my kiosk, I have a kiosk for food.
I think you have a few.
No, it's just one.
Okay.
That one I took you to. If you come back to it, the menu would read athletics, choma, chemsha, tumbukiza.
Oh, everything athletics.
Everything
so
athletics.
That's on your menu today.
That's what on the menu today.
All right.
Thank you, Janet. Well, we kick off our bulletin with athletics. And 2 years ago, Team Kenya brought back 6 gold medals from the 8 that were on offer during the second edition of the Africa Cross Country Championship in South Africa. The 3 dedicated kick-off next month in Uganda, and for Kenya, the pressure is on to ensure that they better their previous performance. Wahiga Mwaura evaluates the team's chances and brings us that story.
"40-year-old Gregory Kilonzo is the man tasked with training the team that will travel to Uganda on the 11th of March for the Africa Cross Country Championships. His athletics resume shows both local and international expertise.
Juzi yangu yani nilitoa huko South Korea na ile nimejifunza mimi mwenyewe na vijana wangu hapa. Nitaweza kupeleka pale na niweze kutrain hao. Mimi najua nitapata ushindi.
He will be leading a contingent of 24 athletes, but which one of them is most likely to bring back silverware? Now, in the men's senior event is 10,000-meter Africa silver medalist Bidan Karoki, who will be leading the medal onslaught.
Ninajitayarisha sana sikuwa najitayarisha kwa Africans cross country na angalia Commonwealth Games. Ndio sasa ninajitayarisha kama endurance training.
The lineup in the senior women's race would make any coach happy, bearing in mind World Cross Country senior champion Emily Chebet and World Cross Country junior champion Faith Chepngetich, both qualified for Uganda.
Tutaenda kung'ang'ana huko Uganda tuone tumeleta medals yote.
The students of Riruta Central in satellite Nairobi County dominated the junior men's race, taking the first 5 positions during the qualifiers. Africa junior champion Moses Mukono, who used to train with his mentor David Rudisha in E10, hopes that the similarity in climate between Nairobi and Uganda will favor the team.
Going to World Cross, it was my first time to experience especially winter. I never went to winter. It was my first time to go to winter. It was terrible. But this time, I know winter is not in Uganda. So that's of course I'm going to do. I hope to do that.
Finally, Agnes Chebet will be the athlete to watch in Uganda since the World Youth Gold Medalist came first during the weekend's qualifiers.
Naona most of them ni wale new faces na mimi niko na matumaini kuangalia venye nimeona wamekimbia hapa. Sina wasiwasi wote.
The team enters residential camp this coming Sunday in Ngong.
Marathon world record holder Wilson Kipsang has reignited the debate on taxation of athletes' income and overseas. The marathoner says the government should shelve its plans to effect the taxation issue. Kipsang says the government should upgrade existing facilities and charge athletes to use them instead of taxing their overseas earnings.
Athletes have resisted the proposal by government and the Kenya Revenue Authority to tax their overseas earnings since the idea was floated last year and brought up again in January. Now Wilson Kipsang, the world marathon record holder, has reignited debate asking the government to shelve the plans.
We are trying to request the government really exempt the athletes from double taxation.
Similar to the rallying call issued by Wesley Korir last month at an athletes meeting in Iten, Kipsang says athletes should come together to fight the double taxation issue. He says this is due to the fact that they train under a lot of hardship and feel that only their local investments should be taxed.
We are trying to really talk to one another as athletes and try to see if we can really create or speak in one unity.
Kipsang insists that paying tax in the countries they're running, paying their agents, coaches and management teams leaves them with very little to benefit from. Athletes say that taxation upon return will harm their finances and give them very little reason to continue representing Kenya.
You find that there's a Kenyan who is working outside Kenya, maybe in Nigeria or anywhere, and he's paid salary. You find that when he's paid salary or any income he earns, you find that it is taxed in that country.
Kipsang has a suggestion that he feels will work for both athletes and government.
The athletes can even pay a fee for using a track like this. If it is well maintained and well made to meet the standards, you find that athletes can pay a fee to train in that track. And through such payments, you find that that one goes directly to the government.
Kipsang was speaking while on a tour of the dilapidated Kipchoge Stadium in Kapsabet, accompanied by Professional Athletes Association of Kenya Secretary General Gilbert Kiplum.
We shall give them some training. We shall offer them skills on education and management.
The association is seeking to bring together athletes, coaches and managers to address and resolve the issues that athletes face. Maureen Mwende, Citizen Sports.
First Lady Margaret Kenyatta showed that she will be the one to beat during the inaugural First Lady Half Marathon set for the 2nd of March at the Uhuru Gardens. The First Lady carried out a practice session from 6 a.m. this morning at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, in the able hands of veteran athletes Douglas Wakihuri and Tegla Lorupe, just to name a few. The upcoming marathon will begin at Uhuru Gardens through Mombasa Road, Langata Road and back to the Uhuru Gardens. The 21-kilometer race is a warm-up for the London Marathon, which will take place in April. The marathon is geared at raising funds for the Beyond Zero campaign, a charity initiative meant to provide practical solutions for HIV/AIDS, child and maternal health challenges.
Open, close. One, open, close. One, open, close. One.
It was wonderful having you join me for a difficult workout. But fun, and thank you. And now you know that it's actually for real.
In football, AFC Leopards started their KPL campaign with a 1-1 draw against KCB. The match was played yesterday afternoon, 3 days after they played in Ethiopia.
Fatigue was always going to play a big part in the first Kenyan Premier League match for AFC Leopards. The transition between the continental match on Sunday in Addis Ababa and the league match on Wednesday afternoon in Nairobi was not very easy to effect. The result was an early goal conceded as the team took time to settle.
It is not easy because we rest only one day and then we trained and then the match. It was a bit difficult for us.
Because of the fatigue, some of the first team players like Peter Pinches Opio started from the bench. Ingwe got into the game in the second half with Jacob Kelly snatching the equalizer. KCB had decided to sit back and wait for the counter-attack. Coach Juma Abdallah was afraid of the kind of fitness AFC Leopards had after playing in the Kenya Power Charity Cup, as well as the 2 continental matches against defenses of Ethiopia.
Tungesema tufungue game na wako na match fitness, tungelichoka haraka zaidi kwa kukimbizana na wao. Already they are physically fit, wamekuwa kwenye game, concentration yao ni mzuri, match fitness yao ni mzuri. Ndio maana tukasema tucheze behind the ball.
Ingwe could have won it at the death, but James Situma blasted the spot kick wide. Coach Abdallah says it was a clean penalty given, though he had faith in goalkeeper Sam Okinda after the work put in pre-season.
Hizi penalty tumetrain sana tukiwa na Ukinda. Ukinda na hope ata save penalty nyingi sana mwaka huyu, sababu nilikuwa nishajua weakness yake since last year.
That man, every penalty he scores in the practice, but it's normal today. Even me as a coach, I'm not happy because I knew that 100% is going to score, but you can't not say anything about the penalty.
KCB always start the league on a high, but their coach is happy with the point gained from the match.
In fact, nimefurahia sana point moja kwa sababu ukiangalia tumetoa mbali na tunakuja. Kwa sababu kitu kama ni kizuri. This time FC Leopard they are good. Hata ukiangalia vile wameenda na wametoka nje, lazima tuwasifu. For me, congratulate them kwa vile wamecheza, wameingia second round. Sio kama vile zamani, kwa sababu niliwaambia siwezi kudanganyana. Ingelikuwa tunaanza na FC Leopard kama vile walicheza na Mathare, hizi point ungelichukua. But kutoka Mathare wameanza kurealize FC Leopard they have come in the game, now they are professional and they are trying even them to guide their repetition.
For FC Leopards, they are on the road again to Mumias for their next Kenyan Premier League match against Ulinzi Stars on Sunday. After that, it's back to Nairobi to prepare for a flight to South Africa, where they will play SuperSport United in the first leg of the first round of the Confederations Cup.
The national women's volleyball team faced the Seychelles later this afternoon, keen on making it 3 out of 3 victories in their World Championship Africa qualifiers. Kenya edged Senegal in yesterday's match, beating the West Africans by 3 sets to 1 at the Safaricom Gymnasium in Kasarani. Kenya registered a score of 25-19 in the first set, stumbled in the second set 17-25, but picked themselves up for the victory with a score of 25-11 in the third set. That's sports for this afternoon. I'm glad you know something about basketball.
That I know Tony Parker.
Yes.
You're impressed.
I know why. But I won't say.
It's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, Mike. Thank you so much.
At least you watch basketball.
I do. I used to watch the NBA a lot, actually.
That is nice.
Yeah.
We should take you on 3-on-3 one of these days.
Please.
Your own?
I'll think about it.
We'll record.
Thank you so much for that, Mike Okinyi. I'm Janet Bogwa. Thank you for watching Citizen Live at 1. Have a good day.
I'm Mike Okinyi. Please enjoy the rest of your day.